Warrior, let's get to it. I want to bring you a message about nudifying apps. I know it's a name I don't even like saying, but let's throw away all the embarrassment. Let's talk about what's actually going on for our kids and for all of us online because there have been several stories breaking headlines just in the last 48 hours. And I want to make a couple of things clear so you understand how horrific this is and to be on the lookout for a couple of different things. Now, first of all, I want to welcome everybody, but a nudifying app, what is that? AI, artificial intelligence, can take anybody's face, and these apps are available to anybody for free and create nude images of them. There has been pressure on Meta, which, as you know, is Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, to do something about this. But you know what? Their record shows, and we've learned they basically do nothing. And why should they? Because again, they're hiding behind, Section 230 of that Communications Decency Act, where they're basically a billboard. And until we change that in Washington, until we have an amendment on that, until we get rid of that, they will continue doing this. Our push at the Warriors now, I'm going to say to you something that may not be very popular, is erase everything in the past. It's not going to matter because what is happening with AI, artificial intelligence, it's here, it's happening. It's like this runaway train, and there aren't any guardrails. There aren't enough of our government officials, call them what you want, Democrats, Republicans, congressmen, senators, talking about this. Yes, there's a lot in the works, but the law is lagging behind the technology. This is not about getting rid of anybody's privacy. This is about protecting vulnerable people. So first of all, let's talk about these nudifying apps. I want to give you some correct stats because I found this very early this morning out of the UK, a new study that I want to talk to everybody about. And wait till you hear this one. So here's the danger. I really want to drive it home for you. Kids are indeed turning to AI for friendship. Now, again, this study's out of the UK, but our Warriors work tells us the UK, they're pretty much ahead on whether they're creating laws, whether they're creating awareness, whether they are, shutting things down. They are ahead and doing a better job than the United States. But this new UK report, children are turning to chat bots for homework, help, emotional advice, and sometimes they are doing this because they have no one else, and they're claiming, wait till you hear this study done in the UK, 1,000 kids and then 2,000 parents. The report's called Me, Myself, and AI, and I'm going to put this in the body of the video. But children, it's not just about cheating. It's not at all. And this was the fear we had at the Warriors, and many other people also did, turning to them for some emotional support and friendship, fashion advice, companionship. And the study was done by a nonprofit called Internet Matters. 64% of the kids are using AI chatbots. And a lot of these kids are really forming this emotional bond. And the young brain is not really developed. I don't know what the studies say these days, at least till you're 25. So in isolation and coming out of the last 4 to 5 years where we came out of that COVID period and everybody was online, forced to be online, that's where the isolation set in. That's why at the Warriors we're always saying to you, get off the phones, get off the gaming consoles, get off of everything. The Chromebooks start with 15 minutes a day. It's like a drug addiction because we know internet is an actual addiction. There are plenty of studies that tell us. But this is a very complicated story because nearly a quarter of the kids say they use chatbots for advice. Where does that advice come from? That information, right? Again, we have too many situations in real life right now where these chatbots, and you may not hear about this in the mainstream media, a couple of things leaked out in the last few months, but you're not hearing a lot of it, where these chatbots actually forming a relationship with a child or teen then directed this child or teen to harm themselves, harm their parents, harm their siblings. Not good, okay? Even more concerning than this, they're relying on them for everything, what to eat, what to wear. Now we're coming out of all these dangerous, not even coming out of, we're still fighting in Washington, my home state, up in Albany. And yes, there is action, there is movement across the United States, but these dangerous algorithms, we have the proof. How much do we have to scream about this? How much do we have to warn people? The dangerous algorithms, whether it's sextortion, whether it's eating disorders, all kinds of harmful content our kids are seeing. I just don't ever understand. I mean, call me wacky, everybody. This harmful content is allowed, but you know, and I know certain content is censored online, right? I'll just leave it at that. So let me just say, even more concerning, 15% of all these kids. Now, remember what I always tell you at the Warriors, numbers are always higher than what's reported. But 15% in this study of 1,000 kids, 15% of the kids say they'd rather talk to a chatbot than a real person. And then we have the usual guardrails, age verification. Then we have regulatory oversight. It is the same story over and over again. I don't understand. Didn't we not learn our lesson? Again, it comes from the UK, but we're right on the tail here. This is the same going on in the United States. We learned, especially in the last decade, that the harm to our children, our youth, our teens, and it's repeating itself, except this is going to be worse than anything. And also, the brands are moving in, of course, because when you ask, why does this all happen? It's about power, number one. Number two, it's also about making money. That's the bottom line. Making money, and your children are the eyeballs. Your children are the ones they can addict. And when I say children, I'm going to even say 30 and under, okay? But I guess I should stick to 18 and under since, that's the legal adult 18. But those will be the future adults that they can continue throughout their entire lives being addicted to these platforms. So while, we have movies and things that kids are looking at and gaming that looks cute with robots, we're not talking robots here. We are talking about chatbots. But these nudifying apps are horrific. Imagine a girl in the 5th grade. And remember, kids are very savvy. And if these programs are free, these kids, I've seen kids, 5 years old, so brilliant with the computer, right? Because that's their life. It's not their fault. They've been born in the internet bubble, the 30s and under. But can you imagine if, as an example, a 5th grade girl, a nudifying app, and that boy or another girl spread that all around her school or sent it, put her in a sexual situation and put that out there for everybody to see. And and I know that people pick up, I don't care if images are deleted, they pick up on these images and it's there. Is it uploaded to a porn site? What's real? What's not real? This is what we are entering into. This is the most frightening thing. Here's a story. There's already been some disturbing. I want to go back to this real world incidents in the United States. A Florida mother filed a lawsuit after her teenage son reportedly received harmful and sexual messages from a chatbot. We also have reports of children being groomed for trafficking, sexual exploitation by chatbots. Again, I ask, where is this information coming from? Who's controlling it? Why don't we have more noise about this, more guardrails? Everything we do right now has to be about AI, artificial intelligence. Now, we do have, coming out of California, a bill which would require AI developers to implement safeguards protecting minors from addictive and manipulative aspects of chatbot technology. But how hard is this for everybody to understand? How hard will it be to pass? It's been introduced, Senate Bill 243 in California, but it's not a real person. How do you put guardrails around something that's not real? What about mandatory reporting to the big tech platforms? We already know they failed us when we've reported about CSAM, child sexual abuse material. So what are they going to do about this? Nothing, because they're making money until they're forced to take action and do something. But what about, let's get back to parents, family members, kids, right? It's not their fault. Why should this be put on the schools to handle? Why should it be put on the parents? It is up to the big tech platforms, the ones making the money, the ones doing this, which in our book at the Warriors is criminal, to put the mental health, the well-being of society, of culture. This is an ethics kind of situation, doing this. It's unfiltered. And you know what? Nobody knows, Because when schools, I know from here in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, have reported it, the schools are unprepared. There's no protocol in place. So perhaps we have to work in each school district on protocol. But this is very disturbing. And at the same time, because I really want to drive this home, I want to tell you about a report that came out of a couple of facts out of, again, I'll have this report in the body of the video, but this report that came out of our great allies and colleagues at the National Center on Missing and Exploited Children, that, wait till you hear this one, shocking. In 2024, NCMEC, National Center on Missing and Exploited Children, so a 1,325% increase. I want to repeat that, a 1,325% increase in cyber tip reports with a GAI nexus. What is the GAI nexus? That is the generative artificial intelligence. Did you hear what I said? A 1,325% increase. So we have to get a hold of this. You, as the parent, the guardian, the neighbor, the family member, whatever you are, and yourselves have to protect yourselves. Know this artificial intelligence is there. What are you going to do? You're going to follow lynswarriors.org for updates. You can always write to us, lynn@lynswarriors.org. There are plenty of resources, but the number one thing, if you have a child in your household, or a grandchild, or a family member with a child, you may not have children, be aware this is going on. Talk open and honestly with the kids, with the teens, that this is going on. Drive it home to them that this is no longer, fun. This is cyberbullying if your child would take that nudifying app so readily available, right? And that's just the problem. I want to repeat, why should the onus be put on parents, families, kids about all this safety? It's time for everybody to wake up, take action, push back. We have a lot of initiatives happening. We have a great one here in New York City I'll keep you aware of in September. That's just getting organized. Please follow us. Please know that today, July 15th, is social media, kind of awareness giving day. And we got to face it because everybody, the world's on the internet. And we're here too because it's the way we at the Warriors can get our messaging out fast and furiously to most of you across not only the United States, but the world. And I want to thank you. But please follow us. Make sure you're doing that on X and on Facebook and on Instagram for updates. Know what's going on because I can't even keep up with it. There are so many headlines. There are so many, I'll say, misinformation. So many people are repeaters. They're not digging in and, finding out about facts, which I agree is hard with the internet because there's so much thrown on there and everybody has an opinion. But stick to, we at the Warriors are always based on facts and truths. And with that, I want to thank all of you. Please always honor our hashtag in your own home community. Our hashtag is Community Creates Change. It's about the kids. We got to protect our children. Artificial intelligence is the main subject right now, especially since we fought it and it was great for the momentum for the moment a couple of weeks ago. It was put into the big, beautiful bill, attached to some broadband funding. I'll leave it at that. Kind of held hostage the broadband funding for vulnerable communities. This was done by one Senator, Ted Cruz, and there was so much outrage. There were 48 hours, groups, organizations, parents, and Marsha Blackburn, who pushed back on this. So kudos to her. It was taken out of the big, beautiful bill that recently passed. However, there's word on the street that it's being put into the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA. And with that, nobody can vote, push back, do anything. It goes in, it is there, everybody. So, although we had that wonderful, momentous occasion for a couple of days, we knew the work is going to be ahead. This is going to be an uphill battle. And we at the Warriors are doing it for you and your children. So join us when I put out the take actions to join us with your name and your zip code so I can present it to Washington and show that we have power, right? Do it. It costs you nothing. We put the information out for you. You just sign on. We need you. And with that, always honor our hashtag Community Creates Change. And when you wake up each and every day, go out and be a warrior.